The rain poured in sheets, tapping hard against the windshield of Jacob Miller's old pickup truck. The wipers groaned across the glass as he sat parked on the side of a rural dirt road, staring into the distance. His fingers clenched the steering wheel as the pain of his wife's absence echoed through his chest. It had been 3 years since cancer took her. 3 long years of loneliness, of raising his 8-year-old son, Caleb, alone. A once thriving construction business had dwindled to odd jobs, and the weight of life pressed heavy on his shoulders. That evening, he had driven farther out than usual, chasing a job lead that turned out to be another dead end. On his way back, he passed a broken-down barn lit with strange lights and surrounded by too many expensive cars for such a forgotten place. Curious, and needing directions, he pulled in. What he saw stopped him cold. Inside the barn, a group of men gathered with folded arms and hollow eyes. At the center stood a young girl. Barely 19, trembling under the weight of all those stares. Her hair was tangled, her clothes worn, but her eyes, they were filled with shame and quiet defiance. A man in a flannel coat stood beside her, shouting prices. Her father. "This ain't right," Jacob muttered under his breath. A few feet away, a woman stood sobbing silently, hollowed by grief. The girl's mother. Her arms clutched tightly to her chest, her eyes pleading with the crowd to have mercy. "This girl is young, strong, and obedient," her father barked. "We need money. She knows what's at stake. Start the bidding." Jacob's fists clenched. It was unthinkable. A father auctioning off his own daughter like cattle, because of poverty, because the world had failed them all. The girl didn't speak. She didn't cry. But her gaze swept the room like a storm warning, begging for rescue, for one person with a conscience. And then Jacob did something even he didn't fully understand. 2,000, he called out. Heads turned. The auctioneer, her father, smirked. "We got a bid. 2,000. Anyone else?" Silence. Going once, twice, sold. A cheer broke out among a few men. A transaction complete. A soul traded for dollars. The girl's mother fell to her knees in tears. Jacob stepped forward. The girl didn't meet his eyes. He gently placed his coat over her shoulders. "You're safe now," he said quietly. "Let's get you out of here." He didn't ask why. He didn't know what he'd do next. He just knew it was the right thing to do. Back home, Caleb blinked at the girl who now sat at their kitchen table, holding a warm mug of tea with both hands. She said her name was Lily. She had once dreamed of becoming a nurse. Her mother had tried to shield her for years from the horrors of poverty and her father's temper, but the day came when there was no more food and no more time. Her father gave them an ultimatum: either she would bring money into the house, or he would make arrangements. "I begged him," Lily whispered, voice cracking. "But he said girls are just burdens without price tags." Jacob listened, heartbreaking. He had known pain. But not this. No one should know this. For days, Lily stayed with them, quiet and cautious, helping with chores, slowly warming to Caleb, who had shyly drawn her a crayon picture of his new friend. Her laughter returned in fragments, small, but real. She started reading books again. Cooking simple meals. Telling bedtime stories to a boy who had missed a woman's voice. The town, of course, talked. Some whispered cruelly. But Jacob stood firm. "She's not property," he told anyone who asked. "She's family now." One evening, as they ate dinner by candlelight during a power outage, Lily softly said, "I never knew men could be kind. Until now." Jacob looked up, humbled and silent. In time, Jacob helped Lily enroll in a GED program. He even sold his last valuable tool set to help her apply for nursing school. Every sacrifice he made seemed to lift the shadows from her eyes a little more. But the real moment came one summer evening. Caleb had been playing outside when he suddenly screamed. A swarm of bees had attacked, and his tiny body was swelling with allergic reaction. Jacob panicked, trying to drive, but Lily didn't flinch. She held Caleb steady, administered the EpiPen she had insisted Jacob keep after learning of his allergy, and talked to the emergency responders on the phone with calm authority. At the hospital, the doctor turned to Jacob and said, "Whoever that girl is, she saved your son's life." Jacob turned to Lily. She was trembling, exhausted, but still standing. He walked over, took her hand, and for the first time, she didn't flinch. "You were never a burden, Lily," he said. "You're a blessing. You didn't just need saving. So did we." Years passed. Lily graduated as a registered nurse. She now worked at the local clinic, tending to patients with gentle hands and fierce compassion. The girl once auctioned off was now a healer, a beacon of hope. At her graduation ceremony, Jacob and Caleb stood front row. When her name was called, Lily searched the crowd, found them, and mouthed, "Thank you." Afterward, she hugged Jacob tightly and whispered, "You didn't buy me that night. You rescued me. You saw a human when others saw nothing." Jacob smiled. "You rescued us, too." The story of Jacob and Lily spread quietly at first, shared by neighbors, then local journalists. People wrote letters. Some donated to help young girls in similar situations. The kindness of one struggling widower had rippled outward, lighting corners of the world that had nearly gone dark. Lily eventually opened a shelter for abused and at-risk girls. She named it Second Light. Because, as she told every girl who walked through those doors, no matter how dark your beginning, you can still be someone's second light. And Jacob? He still worked with his hands. Still wore flannel. But every Sunday, he'd sit in the back of the shelter's small chapel, watching lives rebuild, silently proud of the miracle he never asked for but was honored to help begin. In a world where people are often bought, broken, or forgotten, Jacob reminded us of something far more powerful than money or status. That kindness, especially when it costs you something, is the truest kind of wealth. And sometimes, when you save someone, they just might end up saving you right back.